Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
Boom. We are live, baby. Live. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio NCAA Net Profit. It's February. It's Tuesday, the 8th. It's a phenomenal card, Max. Can't wait to break it down. But how was your night last night? We always got to go through our shit, our normal shit, wins, losses. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I know you're in.
Yeah, Connor, my night, it was devastatingly poor. I bet the two most public road favorites in a money line parlay, and they both decided to fuck me. I was watching them on the same monitor on split screen. That monitor almost got abused like a homeless person on Queen Street West at 3:00 in the morning. And I had to go down to the homeless shelter and pick up ladies of the night over there because I could not even afford an under the bridge hand job. Okay. So it was a sad night. It's a sad time for me. And I'm hoping that I can come back strong today. Strong like Russia, not weak like Ukraine. I'm not actually, I don't actually mean that. I love Ukrainians. I love Russians. I hope they don't go to war.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a little humor here. We love them both. Okay.
And I will say this. Sorry, Connor. I will say this before we go. Watching Virginia hit that game-winning three-point shot literally punched me right in the dick, the throat, the face, the back of the head, all at the same time. It was the worst phantom punch beat that you could ever get. And if I have to watch it one more time on the ACC network on replay, I may have to kill myself.
Yeah, it's definitely on loop. That was a good game. So was the Kansas-Texas. Texas came to play at home. I thought they would do, well. People were getting too good off the Kansas, back on the road. Tough spot for them where they haven't been great all year after that huge win at home versus Baylor. Let's get to mine. George Mason Richmond. Come on, points nowhere. Hey now, Temple, South Florida, just how I thought the game. 52-49, slow. And then last, the lean that I didn't jump all over. A little bummed. It was a barrage of second half points. The first half was a little weak, but it got over the total in Southern Utah. Montana covered in that game late. So, yeah, all in all, just a ho-hum okay day. But let's get to today. Yesterday, let's get that shit out of the way. We got a huge, nice card with a ton of great games. And before we get to them, and before I give a shout-out to the best chat in the game, let's get to your line movement, my guy, because I know there's been a ton of movement from last night to now. Obviously, we're right here, the latest show, right before tip. So let us know what's your moves here. You've caught your eye, side total.
Yeah, absolutely, Connor. So I'll start off with the 6:00 game, guys. Battle in the ACC, North Carolina and Clemson. And we've had line moves on the spread and the total. A 150.5 total down to as low as 145.5 right now. And North Carolina was the underdog this morning. They are now a 1.5 point favorite at its highest right now. So some extreme line movement, something to either be aware of and to fade or to ride the wave. When we look at another game, we have seen this UConn total go down a couple points. Those couple points may be the points that decide whether or not this game stays under or over at 141, down to as low as 139.5. Then I go down the board and I stop right on my fucking Bonnies. This total open at 132.5. It's as low as 130.5 right now. And with these two teams and how they score, that point or two may not even matter in the end. When we do look at a total where points will matter, we have to look at these MAC games. We've had some very interesting movement with the totals, a little interesting movement with the spreads. Let's start off with Bowling Green and Kent State, 151.5, up as high as 153.5 right now. And with Ohio and Toledo, the very touted up, highly anticipated rematch is a spread that opened up with Toledo as a 4.5 point favorite. They are down as low as 2.5 points, and I would not be surprised to see a 2 pop up on the legal U.S. books. The total did rise 3 points very quietly to as high as 151.5. When we go down the board, we have to stop in a game in the A10. That is Rhode Island and VCU. VCU may not have Vince Williams in the lineup. Rhode Island is getting Jalen Carey back tonight, and that total went from 129.5 to as high as 123.5. And that 123.5, I can hear the Master Jedi being like, "The Force is with you, Rhode Island. The Force is with you." So definitely an interesting spot there. When we do look at that line, we have seen it go U-shaped when it comes to the spread. Rhode Island as low as a 4.5 point favorite. Now they're back up to 6. That must mean that Vince Williams has been ruled in. When we go down the board and we look at some of these other games, we have to stop and look at Iowa State and West Virginia. A 127.5 total up as high as 129.5. And West Virginia and Iowa State both with some offensive issues right now. This number could be going the wrong way. When we do look at a spread that has been heavily impacted by a player's ability to be in the game or not, we have to look at TCU. TCU is once again not going to have Mike Miles, but they do have a ample freaking roster of guys who can have outlier games. So look out for that TCU game. When we do look at Auburn and Arkansas, we do have a slight move to the over, 2 points. It may not matter. It may matter. I think we're going to get Zeb Jasper back for Auburn, and I think that this Auburn offense will be freaking operating on a much higher level than we saw them last time out. When I go down the board a little further, I have to stop at this game involving Western Michigan and Miami of Ohio. We've seen that total go from 145.5 to as low as 139. Another total that we've seen a big move is Kentucky and South Carolina. Very surprising that this line's gone from 141.5 to 144.5. And I think that it just gives enough, it gives you even more value on the under than you did on opener. Conor, when I look at some of these other games that are a little later on, some of the games that really caught my eye were definitely the Evansville-Indiana State game going from 129 to 132. The Tulsa spread going from 5.5 to as high as 7.5. And the Syracuse game not really moving at all. So that was actually quite surprising for me as well. As far as some of the other games, Villanova, the line has definitely moved against them because of the uncertainty with Colin Gillespie and Justin Moore. Wyoming went from a 3-point favorite to now a pick'em with a lot of money, including some of mine, on Wyoming tonight. We have seen Indiana become a 1-point favorite after opening as a 1-point dog. And with Vanderbilt, they become as high as an 8-point favorite. I would not be surprised to see an 8.5 pop on the board before 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. Long Beach was a favorite of 1.5 points. They are now a 2-point dog against Fullerton, who has owned them over the past couple years. And aside from that, Conor, the only total that I want to mention right now is Colorado State and Nevada, 148.5 down to as low as 146. Very interesting move with the Colorado State team that has been playing under basketball.
Yep. I agree. That game caught my eye. The total there in that one. Great job. Any other ones you want to touch on real quick? Or are you ready to get to your games?
No, I'm ready to get into my game, sir.
Excellent. We got to give a shout out to the dono. Kyle, my guy, shout out to you with the $5 dono. And another one, Saturated guy, King Kofi. Shit on in Purdue tonight with his eyes open. All right. He's going to fuck with his eyes open, he thinks.
Damn
Kofi
straight.
Colburn, as we all know. Cockburn, but however they want to do it for him. Shout out to the chat. As I say, the best chat in the goddamn game. Nuke Worker, my guy. I think he's almost retired. Shout out to you, Nuke Worker, man. Almost done, man. Shout out to you. Paulie Walnuts, Jake Kaiser. We'll get to that game later. I agree with you. I've been riding them a long time. Jake knows that. Bill, Michael Irvalina, Rara Murray, Preston Burke. How you doing? TCATL, King Art. How you doing? Real Deal Prime, The Grinder in the house. Kent Davies, T-Mac, Matty Ice. Right here, the Taint. Wyoming, money line. Tate.
Ooh,
Say
Taint.
what it is, Max.
Scarlett Johansson, Taint.
Taint. Yes, money line 115 for Matty Ice. I agree with him as well. That I could have talked about that game, but I agree with the Wyoming there. It won't be easy. Utah State's playing better basketball, but watching Hunter Maldonado, I watched that whole Fresno State game the other day. If you got him on the floor, his size as a guard, yeah, I think Wyoming is the spot there. Small favorite at home. Shout out to everyone else. Raymond, good to see you. Nasty Nate, my guy in the house. Great to see you. We'll get to some of these questions. Someone mentioned first half overs. Max, I'm sure we'll hit some of those up. Those are more his forte. Peter, what's up, my guy? Let's get the cupcakes. I love it. Arthur Meade Jr., Mike Conley, Lance LaRose. Hell yeah, all the guys in here. Jay Peasy, Jay Rush, Saturate, as we mentioned, with the dono. Nuke Worker, $10. Hit it, show. Hit it. Boom. All damn day. Dono train. Shout out to my guy. Last day is Friday after 35 years, man.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations on the freaking achievement, you know.
Hell yeah. Congrats, my guy, on retirement. It's great to hear. I'm happy for you. Jimmy Gomez, Daryl, what's up, our guy? Daryl likes in the chat. Michael Anderson, everybody. We got the crew here, Max, ready to roll. Let's get to these games today here. Let's get to your first one. You kind of broke this down in the line movement earlier. Rhode Island versus VCU. VCU's laying 5 here. Low total 122.5, some 123s. What do you like here?
Yeah, listen, if I'm not going to get fancy, and I'm going to try not to get fancy today because I want to have sex indoors with a woman who's regularly showered and bathed, I'm going to have to just play it simple. What works in this game? Listen, we've seen VCU get off to that 60-plus point first half. They're capable of it, but does Rhode Island really want to get into that type of game? They want to clamp down. Both these teams want to limit possessions. Both these teams have roster issues that are in flux. But I think that with Rhode Island having freaking Ishmael El-Amin, Kahid El-Amin's son, in the fold alongside Jeremy Shepard, alongside freaking Jalen Kidder, who's making his return tonight. I think Rhode Island has value as a dog if you're getting them at 5 points or more, and the under at 123.5. That seems like the play to make when it comes to the total. I think that this number moved a little too much, and I think that it moved the wrong way.
I agree here. There's just these teams, Max. Not the VCU, could win, but they're just that gritty team. We talked about North Texas didn't do it. They kind of cover a little bit better for a team that's so good defensively, but teams like Dayton or VCU, I mean, they'll win by 4, 5, so. That seems like a lot to me as well. We know it dropped a little bit. I even saw some 4.5s for a little bit a few hours ago. It's mostly 5s everywhere. So I agree a little bit with the dog, and me with these two at 123. That's too many in this game. It should be real slow and low scoring. So I agree there. Let's get to your second one. This is a big game. You mentioned it too earlier. Fullerton, Long Beach. Good one tonight. This line's moved from Long Beach to short favorite, now 1.5. It touched 2 for a while, Max. Mostly 1.5s everywhere now. Line right about 145, 145.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, I got myself the 2 at minus 108, and I'm definitely about Long Beach in this spot. Listen, past history matters to an extent in college. However, I do think that with Long Beach, we know that they want to get to the rim. Fullerton's going to try and take that away. but Long Beach is going to be able to take away the freaking driving lanes that Fullerton relies on. Fullerton is talented. They got fucking a very nice crew going on. I like the front court of freaking Vince Lee. I like EJ Ananoski. I like Torrey San Antonio. But I think that with Trey Maddox, Dante Maddox, Damari Milstein, these guys, they need lanes to get to the bucket. If they can't get to the bucket, forcing them to take jump shots is a pretty good thing. What is Long Beach going to do? They're going to zone up on these motherfuckers. And with the length that they have at the back of that zone, I think it's going to be easier said than done to score the basketball against this Long Beach defense. I think Long Beach is a very improved team. We're seeing the line start to reflect it a lot more, because when I had this game, I thought that this opener was going to come out with Fullerton at least a 2-bucket favorite. So I think that from that perspective, it is a little of a risky play. However, when you watch this Long Beach team and how Joel Murray can break a defense down, how he can make a pass out of trouble, and how he can get to the free throw line and convert, that's where I think the difference is. Joel Murray has a standout game tonight, and Long Beach does what not a lot of Long Beach teams in the past have been able to do, is beat these freaking Cal Fullerton Titans.
Yeah, two good teams going at it. I think they're both 7-1 in conference so far, so it should be a good one. Shout out to everyone else that's joined us. Kent Davies mentioned, yeah, we're working on something here through StreamYard. We'll get we'll hopefully soon we might have some more graphics for some of these games, but it's a work in progress. But no worries, my man, we're on it. Tony Brewster, great to see you. Dana, Trent Claxton, Claxton, Rude Jude up in here. My guy, Rude Jude, Remmost, Dale, great to see you, Dale. Jake, shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. That's all we ask. Or I ask. I I always say that. Just me. I ask just for the thumbs up. Max wants a few more sometimes.
I definitely want more, Connor. I always want more. And you know what I want today? I want to hear about the freaking greasiest woman that you ever picked up when you were drunk. I want to hear about all those greasy stories at those bars that you'll never return to because you met a woman that you woke up with and you didn't want to wake up with her. Okay? I want to know. Tell me.
Excellent. Love it. Let us know who the big. All right. Let us know. Great question. Okay. Back to the games. Indiana, Northwestern. Indiana's laying here a point, just about, Max. This total's right about 136.5. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, listen, I think that with this Indiana game, they're coming off such a bad loss, and it was such an inefficient game for Trace Jackson Davis. It's hard not to see him being able to have a little more success against this Northwestern front court. I think with Northwestern, though, they are very dependent on how and what they get from Boo Buie. When he's on point, he is very unstoppable. And with his slashing ability and his mid-range jumper, it's not going to be hard for me to think or see a scenario where Northwestern can actually keep this game very competitive for at least 20 minutes. I think that with this backcourt for Indiana, the thing that's missing the most is Rob Finisi. He adds a level of defense, he adds a level of assertiveness and a level of confidence of a guy who can score a bucket when you need a bucket. And Indiana is no stranger to scoring droughts in games in the second half. I think that there is value with Northwestern as a first half home dog right now because we have seen this line flip from a favorite to a dog. But full game is another story. I don't hate on anybody that is backing Indiana after 40. I'm just not. I think that Northwestern after 20 has some value.
Okay, excellent. Cool. Let's get to your next one here, Max. Good game. You mentioned this already, the total. You talked about it. Can Colorado State go to Nevada? They're laying 6 here. Total 146.5, right around there. It's come down a little bit. What do you think here?
Yeah, listen, I think that with Colorado State, this is the time of year that they have to build that resume. If they go in and lose this game to the Wolfpack, who may not have Grant Sherfield, who aren't going to have Warren Washington, that is a big freaking blemish on their resume. I think with Colorado State, we've seen them convert and start to play a lot more defensive. That's going to be really important because we saw what happened in the San Diego State game. Desmond Cambridge was able to really get that offense going, and guys like Keenan Blackshear were dropping threes from the freaking wing and from the perimeter. I think that when you look at Colorado State, they do have value, at least as a first half favorite on the road, because with them full game, it's really a big gamble. From a resume perspective, they need this game, but does Nevada play spoiler? I just don't know.
I don't know either. They're not that good of a basketball team, this year, Max. Difficult for Colorado State. It's just not easy to go on the road in conference and win, here by 7 or more, So it was a difficult spot. But I agree with you initially on this total. Look to the under a little bit. The first one stayed under, and it would just be, 77, 65, something like that. So we'll see here tonight. Excellent. Let's get to your last one. We'll get to mine. We'll get to the rest of this board here today. We got one here, though, Max, if you read it. Preston's got one. He took a chick named Trula back to his tent in Tennessee, and she gave him crabs. He had to burn his tent down and a sleeping bag.
Oh, my God. Slept in your tent and gave you freaking crabs in your sleeping bag?
Damn.
Wow, I would have poured a bunch of Miller Lite on that broad and freaking sent her stepping.
Yeah.
Damn.
Great one.
Greasy. That's greasy. That was a good one.
That's pretty greasy. That's good. Okay. Last one here for you, Max. We'll hit mine and get to the rest. St. Mary's versus Santa Clara. They're laying 2.5. This total is 137.5. What do you like here in this one?
Yeah, listen, I think that when we look at this Santa Clara team, this is a huge opportunity for them to get a win. But historically, they just have not been able to take care of business at home versus St. Mary's team. I think that there's still value with St. Mary's, even as a road favorite. I think that when you look at how Logan Johnson, Alex Dukas have been able to score from the perimeter, and old Tommy Kusi, who obviously is going bald because he's shaving his goddamn head, he can still produce also. There's a ton of continuity with his team. The way that they move and pass the ball in the half court always gets a good shot. And when they do decide to play isolation, it ends up with a good freaking driver getting to the rim and getting to the free throw line. I like how the St. Mary's teams plays. I just don't like how my betting results have been on them. So I'm riding with St. Mary's, but I will be watching this game closely, and there could be a live bet that I make against Gus. And I hate Gus. I want to hurt Gus with my bets and the wins. Not with my hands, because he would fuck me up.
Good old Gus. Shout out to Gus, wherever you are.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's been making money off me. So literally, I hope that he chokes on his burger.
Yeah, beat the street, bud. All right. Great work, Max. Let's get to mine here. I'm going right to the big game here. Auburn, Arkansas. This is 2, now 1.5 with Arkansas. This totals up, which 151. I get it. How can you go not against Auburn here? They won 19 in a row. I know everyone likes it, but I'm taking Arkansas here. You could take the 2. I don't think you need it. I think they're going to win outright. Obviously won't be easy. I just think to continuously go on the road here in the SEC, they're going to lose one. And I know Fayetteville will be rocking tonight. You know how it is, Max. Once you be number one, that target on your back, that place is always slam-packed. And it should be tonight. And Arkansas has been one of the better teams. We've talked about it the last few years at home. It won't be an easy job. Obviously, Smith's so good, Green Jr., it should be a great game, but if you're going to give me this home team and a couple points, I'll probably split my bet, maybe half and half. But I got to go with Pig Suey here tonight at home. What do you like here?
Yeah, listen, I think that when we look at this freaking Arkansas team, this is what this team was assembled and constructed to do, is to defend home court, which they have done the best job at in the SEC in the last 5 years at least. I think that when you look at this game from a personnel perspective, the main matchup that I really see, and I see some X factors on the Arkansas side, is Chris Likes. Chris Likes is I'm waiting for him to bust out. This is a game that he's going to be able to take Auburn guards like Wendell Green, like Zeb Jasper on his hip and right to the rim. I think that there's a lot of freaking good value when you look at a guy who does not get enough clout and respect from the gambling community, from the sports reporting community, and that's Jalen Williams. He is quietly one of the most dominant big men in the conference, and if there's an opportunity for him to step up in a game against Smith and Walker Kessler, how can you not take a shot? Arkansas is a dog is the only way, Connor. You're absolutely correct on this one.
Yeah, you're right. With Williams down there, so great. No Tay with the ball. And Kyle asked, I think Jasper's not going to play. I mean, that's what the word is right now. But it's still in doubt, but that's kind of where I've looked everything up. Yeah.
Because Bruce Pearl was saying that he's like, oh, we didn't have Zeb today. We're going to have him next time out. So if he actually plays, that adds a fantastic on-ball defender, the best ball handler on this team, and the actual floor general. I still don't think it's enough.
Yeah, should be a good one. Can't wait for that game. All right, let's get to my next one here. This one's a tough one now to give out, Max, because like you talked about, this is Ohio, Toledo. There is some threes still out there, but they've gone to 2.5. I liked Ohio, when it was 4.5 last night, 4. This total's 151, like you talked about. Ohio's only loss here in conference was a beatdown from Toledo. Their own floor, 87-69. There's still threes out there, so I'm going to give it out. I'm on Ohio here. If you can get a 3, get it. I think we see a little revenge, and I don't blame anyone. This is another tough game because Toledo's been really good to me, and I'm sure to a lot of other people out here. They played really good basketball. I'm just looking for a little bit of revenge here. And one thing with Ohio, I think they play a little bit better defense. Yeah, I was last year. Obviously, Toledo's got a ton of scores and can score at will, and that's how they got in trouble in their first game. I think they play better today. I know it's on the road. It's not going to be easy. It's a white out there for this Toledo game, but I got the 4, but I think if you can get a 3, which is out there, you could take Ohio. I think this game's close. What do you like here?
Yeah, it's definitely feeling like a real trappy game. Ohio, if you're going to play it, I think that you really go for the big freaking swing and you take the -3.5 or -4 at an additional price. I think that Ohio has the best point guard. Ray J. Dennis is a quality point guard, but he's not a consistent performer offensively. You know that Mark Sears is going to be the focal point of that dribble drive offense. He's going to come off screens on every other possession. And if he doesn't want to score it himself, he's got 2 capable big men that can freaking empty the paint and really clear guys out. It's a real tough matchup to beat twice. I definitely think it's going to be difficult. I think points will be scored, though. I think both teams clip their team totals and get into the 80s.
Okay. So you like the over here, even we're at 151. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got a lot of questions in the chat about that. All right, Max, let's get to my next one here. This is kind of a swing game, a field game for me here, Max. These teams just played. They lost by 3 at home. Portland, San Francisco. I thought this line was going to be 14.5. And I got 18.5. There's 18s everywhere. There's a few 18.5s. There's just too many points for Portland. They've had some of their worst games on the road, but is San Francisco an elite team? Like Oregon, some of those bad games that they had, Portland has had. But other than that, to the teams that they've had to go, they've gone and won on the road, covered on the road. They just lost, 13 to BYU. I'll take that here. I think it's too many points. I'm going with Portland here. It's a dirty dog. I'm taking all these points, the 18.5. This total's 141. It did get over just 2 days ago, 74-71. I lean under a little bit. What do you like here?
Yeah, I would have to lean towards the under and have to take the points with the dog. Not really any other way to look at it aside from the fact that San Fran has done a pretty good job of covering these big numbers. I just haven't seen them do it in a quick turnaround revenge game.
Yeah, and it's difficult because we see this a lot. They didn't win, but you see a team get blown out and then they win, and you're like, what the hell? So I'm worried about they kept that game close at home. They go on the road and get their ass kicked. But we've always talked about with Portland before, they can make free throws. So I think that could keep them in a 20-point under 20 here and get this cover. I thought it was just too much. I was thinking this was going to be 14 or 15. So I got to take the points here.
And Chris Austin being inserted into the starting lineup definitely makes a big difference. He's such a physical guard that he can really score from all three levels, and then it opens up better shots for Moses Wood. And then you're not as reliant on Tyler Robertson.
Excellent. Yeah. Let me get to my last one. I'll be quick here, Max, because I know you're not going to be in agreement here. But I've taken this team too much. I still think they're being disrespected. And the line's not going good with me here, or even some of the money. But I got to take Marquette again at 6.5. I've took them every time. I took them probably 7 straight, 8 straight. This is one I got to ride. UConn's had trouble putting teams away. Yes, could they win by 8 today? Sure, or 10. But I'm going to make them do it. So give me the 6.5 here with Marquette. I'll keep it short and sweet. I know you like your UConn here. Sorry, but I'm on Marquette here. What do you like? Total 139.5.
Because I am trying not to give biased emotional advice on my teams, I will just talk about the fact that I have 2 different packages of honey, one from McDonald's, one from Popeyes. They both taste the same, and I can't really tell which one is better. I'd say that the darker one is the one from Popeyes. So, yeah, that's what I'm about.
There he goes. He leaves it right at that. No comment to be made on the game. I love it. Shout out to the chat. Everyone in here, get ready here. We're about to go do the commercial in just a second. But before you do that, give me all your questions. Just write the team, the spread, the total, whatever you want on the game. So load them up. Let's get to it. But first, let's get a word from our sponsors. Boom, baby, boom. If you're in the San Antonio area, go to the best bar there is, Southtown 101. Have a drink. Have a good time. Sing some karaoke. Have a good one. Go to mybookie.ag, promo code PUBSports. Use the Bitcoin, too. If they put 1,000, they match you with 1,000. And last, get your Manscaped. Go there, promo code PUBSports. Get the Lawnmower 4.0, but get the full package with the ball deodorant or ball spray, whatever. I forget whatever the names of those are, but great product. And go to pubsourceradio.com, get your pub rub, your season, get this on your meat, your chicken, your brisket, your ribs. The shit is great. 2 for $25. And while you're at pubsourceradio.com, cop one of our shirts while you're there. All right, Max, let's get to it. Let's get to some of these games. All right, sorry, this guy's blowing this up. Good, beat the street, bud. Okay, let's get to it. All right, Max. Sorry, I'm trying to go back to where I can get on here. Michigan versus Penn State from Jake. What do you like here? Lane 2.
Yeah, this is a real dirty game. I think that Michigan State has to get an outlier performance from Hunter Dickinson. When they don't, against a pretty stout front court of Seth Lundy and John Harr, it's all about if Penn State can get some consistent scoring from their backcourt. I don't really know what to do from a side. If you gave me a free bet, I would take Penn State as the home dog. And I think that the value, if you want to play a total, would probably be in the first half on the over, if you can get 60 or 61.
Okay, excellent. We touched on this. Max didn't talk too much about it, but Kyle, this was tape play of the day. I agree with it. I like Wyoming here. You want to break that game down, though, Max?
Yeah, I think that with Utah State, they're going to be reliant on Brandon Horvath and Justin Bean being able to run and being able to extend this Wyoming defense. But if Wyoming has any the defensive prowess that they had the first time out, I do think that they're going to be able to take away some of those scoring transition opportunities. If Bean is going to beat you, you got to stop everybody else from beating you. This is a team with a quartet of guards and a good system that they do put up a bunch of threes. I just think at the end of the day, Wyoming can beat you fast, they can beat you slow, and they got the best big man on the floor and the guy who is going to direct the tempo for both teams in Hunter Maldonado. Hunter Maldonado, ball security, Hunter Maldonado directing the tempo and keeping it slow at times and knowing when to speed it up. That's the difference in the game. That's why Wyoming wins, in my opinion.
I totally agree. Said everything I was going to say there. UCLA at Stanford here, Max. A little tricky spot here for UCLA. They're laying 7.5. This total's 133.5. What do you like here?
What's the easiest way to avoid a situational letdown if you're UCLA? Score the fucking basketball.
Yeah.
Score it early, score it often, and make sure that you are not letting that Stanford team go crazy from the 3-point line. If that happened, Stanford will be in it. Stanford could win it. I think first half over is the best way to play it.
Yeah, definitely. Tricky one there to watch out for. All right, big game here, Max. Illinois versus Purdue, laying 5.5. This total's right around 147. What do you like here?
Without overtime in their last game, which was a total of like 46 points that they scored, that game stays under. That game stays under the opening number. That game stays under the number now. Is Illinois' offense going to be better on the road than they are at home? And the biggest question mark when we have a game where dominant big men are going at each other, how are the refs going to call this game? Are they going to call Zach Edey's elbows that he throws at freaking shoulder length the majority of 5 men in the Big Ten? Or are they going to saddle him? So it's a tough matchup. I think if you look at the numbers and you keep it strictly by the numbers, Purdue has the first half advantage, especially at home. And Purdue being able to get to the first half team total of 35 or 36 points seems more reasonable. And then it takes away the potential of actually losing the spread. I think we see points. I think we see a lot of depth, and hopefully Illinois is able to hit some perimeter shots to give a little more variety to their offense.
Okay, shout out. Let's get to this game, Max. Since it's shout out to our guy Tone. It's his levels play of the day. Liberty says whatever number, 14, don't matter. They smash. Lipscomb, Liberty, 14 is the number now. What do you like here?
Yeah, with Liberty obviously being at home and having that 59-game win streak snapped, it's really hard to see them having a very poor performance. With this Lipscomb 3-point defense, they are going to have ample opportunity. And if we see a little bit of the balanced scoring that we saw last time out with all 5 starters in double figures and Darius McGee allowed to float and find the best shots instead of being forced to take the shots, I think that this Liberty team is getting into March mode. This is when they turn it on, and they have played this Lipscomb team. They know what this system is going to freaking do to them. And as long as they can chase Lipscomb off the 3-point line, they can deal with Asadullah and whatever post scoring or high post action that he creates. I think it's a Liberty spot. I think it's a Liberty team total spot. And it's just a matter of, is it going to be a 73-57 type game, or is it going to be an 85-70 type game?
Yeah, it's a ton of points. They should cover the number. It's just not every day I love laying that many with a team like Liberty. It's got me bit in the past.
Yes, but I'll tell you this: Liberty is such an improved shooting team from a whole. There are multiple guys, 4 or 5 guys on this team that are shooting 38% or higher from the 3-point line just in conference. So They are
Okay.
ramping it up when it comes to putting on people. Why did they lose? Why have they lost in the tournament? Because they don't score 75 points.
Yeah. Well, they scored a lot more this year, like you just said. So
And they're my
far.
team, so I feel very strongly about them. And yeah, they're gonna fuck with their eyes open.
Excellent. All right. Matthew wants to know Rodriguez. UMKC laying 2 on the road versus St. Thomas. This totals around 144.5. Can the Roos go on the road and cover this short number?
I think that when we look at UMKC, I've been questioning what they can do without Josiah Alec. I think that they've figured that out over the last couple games. We're seeing some really high level winning basketball from them. And with St. Thomas, it's hard to ignore the fact that they look like they're burning out. They haven't been able to win a game. They haven't been able to play a game at home since they played South Dakota and South Dakota State, both games which they lost on the spread and by margin. I think that at the end of the day, you stop St. Thomas at the 3-point line, and they're a very simple team to beat. They don't have size. They're not going to challenge you on the glass. You're going to be able to get second chance opportunities off all your misses. I think that the playbook is out on them right now. So I would be on UMKC, even though it's a revenge game for St. Thomas, and even though it could be one of the biggest public trap spots on the card.
Yeah, tricky game there. Okay, Max, this one here we got from Arthur Mead, Akron and Northern Illinois. They're laying 8. Akron is this total, I believe, 127.5, I think. Or yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. Anyways, they're laying 8. What do you like here? 127.5, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really similar spot to Akron's last game. However, I'm not feeling very comfortable laying that type of number, even with Akron against Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois has played their best basketball on their home court, with the fact that they've had to really try and ramp up their offense by inserting Keyshawn Williams into the starting lineup to go along with Crump and Hankerson is a good thing, but you need someone else to be able to supply that scoring that you're leaving a void with from the Pine. I think that with Northern Illinois, they just find ways to stay in games at this type of number. It's not my favorite spot. It's not a spot that I'm going to be freaking running around pumping my chest about. But if Northern Illinois can lose this game by 7 instead of 8, I'd be perfectly fine with that. And when it comes to the total, I think that we've gotten to the point where it's actually a spot to take the over. And that's also very scary that I just said that.
I know. I mean, it's getting low, but you're right. I'm not going to mess with that for sure. How about this game, Max? A few people have mentioned it here. Marist at Monmouth. Monmouth laying 7.5. They've had trouble covering these numbers. I don't want anything to do with them. Total, I think 133.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, listen, I think that Marist has definitely been a team that's been able to get over their team total for most games when it's been under 62.5. But guess what it is today? It's 62.5. So that really put my numbers through the spin cycle. I think that with Marist, the big question that I have personnel-wise is, why is Uka not playing more than 20 minutes a game? Last time out, he was very effective in 19 minutes in a game where they only scored 50 points. So I worry about the stamina issue. And then if Ricardo Wright can have a abysmal game like he had last time out, only scoring 2 points in 30 plus minutes on the floor, that is something that there may be something broken that isn't getting fixed tonight. Monmouth has to figure it out right now. This is a time for them to make their run and get in the conversation for a contender for this conference tournament title. If they get this freaking offense going, we know the defense is there. If Marcus McCleary has an outlier type game, could be enough for Monmouth to cover, but you won't see my money on it.
Yeah, definitely. Me too, Max. You're not going to get my money there either. Let's get to this one. Wichita, UCF, they're laying 1.5. This totals 136.5. I didn't see much value either way. UCF a little bit delayed this short number. Lean under a tad bit. This was one I just crossed off. What do you like here?
Yeah, this is definitely a spot where I like the under. I think that opening at 133 and now getting that 3 points of value does strike me as value. So some people may not find that to be value, but I do think both these teams have combined to go under in 17 out of 24 games in this point range so far just this year. I think that having a game where they did get to the 160s does give you the picture in your head that they can repeat that. I think that UCF is best served playing a slower tempo game, and with Wichita State, I've already said it on Jimmy's show today, Connor, and I'll say it again. If you force Travis Etienne to create his 3-point shot attempts on his own, you will be successful versus Wichita State. If he is catching and shooting 3 balls, he will drill them and he will make you cry and he will hurt you. That is just what it is. So I think UCF slows this game down, and let's be brutally honest. Dre Fuller, Darren Green, Brandon Mahan, what do they all have in common? Not condom. What do they all have in common? Is that they're not shooting the basketball consistently right now. So you just don't know what you're going to get. I think you got to back UCF in the revenge spot, and you got to take the under and fade that line movement. But I'm not going to freaking force anybody on that shit.
Yeah, that's how I felt about this game. I mean, if I had to play it, UCF, and if on the total, it's gone. I think it's moved a little too much. I just lean under here. I even see 137s. Real quick, Max, I don't know. You could wait till the end of the show. I think Tori's asked this question a few times. Is there any first half overs you like tonight that you could throw one out for?
Yeah, I always like first half overs. I think that first half over that I like. Let me just scroll through.
Yeah,
I think that a first half over that I like is LSU and Texas A&M. You know, I think that when you look at Texas A&M, this is an improved backcourt. LSU has definitely showed that they can score on the road, but most importantly, the games I've targeted LSU to hit them on unders are games when they are in the 140s. This game is not in that range. I think that while it is a revenge game and a quick turnaround, I do think that we get elevated scoring early on, and I think we can get a first half over 63 or 62.5.
Okay, excellent. Let's get to this one. Iowa State, West Virginia. It's 2.5. This total's 129. Can this game stay under? We got a low total here.
Sorry, which game did you say? I totally
Iowa State, West Virginia.
Yeah, listen, I think that this game definitely is an under candidate just because Iowa State is just not creating anything off the dribble. It's catch and shoot type stuff. It's not a hard defense to defend. And at the end of the day, we've seen a lot of situations where Iowa State's been lined this way, and they have come out without being able to put up 60 points or scoring in the low 60s. I think West Virginia wins this game. They've won this game year in and year out on this freaking home court. West Virginia is no better right now. So you are really betting 2 bottom-feeding shit-ass teams. And I would be taking West Virginia in this spot. I would just be taking West Virginia. They may get Taz Sherman back. If they get him back, you know, that's a potential freaking MVP of the game right there. So I'll ride with Bob Huggins, but I'll be ready to lie bet my way out of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to watch the. That's why I'm not gonna be on this. This line's already moved. It didn't catch the good, the number if I was gonna play it. So now that there's a lot of 2.5s, there's even 3s. I'm not gonna touch it at all here today. All right, Max, let's get to a few more and then we'll rapid fire before we get out of here. Kentucky playing 10.5 here from Chris Lang. He wants to know. I believe the total's around 144, I believe. What do you like here versus South Carolina?
Yeah, listen, I want to see Kentucky have a better road performance than they did against Texas A&M. I am worried a tad about a letdown after beating Alabama on the road, but when you can deny that offense and keep them under 60, it definitely gives me a lot of confidence in my number and in the personnel and scheme to be able to go on the road and be professionals about it and take care of business. Let's keep in mind, Connor, that this is an old team. This is a geezer team. This ain't no freaking young buck team that they can't even buy liquor legally. So yeah. I am all about Kentucky first half in this game. I want to see them put it to fucking work.
Excellent work. Yeah, Nathan, Max talked about that game on his breakdown there, I believe. Let's get to a few more. What about Butler Creighton at under, Max? 126.5?
I think that when you look at Butler, they've done a pretty good job of pushing these types of numbers over so far this season. With Creighton, that they want to play a slow down game, and this number just seems a little too big. I think that I would be taking the over, unfortunately, and I would be taking Butler.
Okay. What about this? Betting Pros Network wants to know this Old Dominion FAU game, Max. 6.5. Total 134.5. Go ahead.
It's a real spicy game because FAU has the good rolling option in Elijah Martin to the bucket, and the way that freaking Mike Forrest can come off a screen and hit a shot or create one for himself is key. With Old Dominion, though, they've had a little bit of issues sometimes eclipsing that 70-point plateau. So I do worry a little bit about it, but this season, they have done such a good job of really producing and putting their foot on their opponent's throat and pressing down. I think that FAU, if they're going to win this game, they're going to score 70-plus points. If they don't, it's going to be rough sleddings. I think that the edge in the game, to me, is on the team total over, and I do think that the full game over, if FAU is going to have their way, is going to be something that cashes as well.
Difficult one for me. I stayed off this game, Max. Tricky with the 6.5. I always talk about those numbers, 7. And I don't love the total. Old Dominion's been a pretty good under team for me. So it's a stay off. I'd lean under if I had to bet it. Let's get to the last one, and then we'll rapid fire, Max. Syracuse from James Little, our guy here. Syracuse laying 4.5 at Boston College. Totals 144. What do you like here?
I hate to think that Syracuse could be playing so well and then come into this Boston College game and just blow a tire, but it's possible. Brevin Galloway for Boston College is a difference maker. He's a 3-point assassin. He's going to have a 5 or 6 3-point make game one of these days. Hopefully it's not tonight, but let's face it, guys. This Syracuse zone has been very freaking offensive friendly, I'd call it. And I just think that at the end of the day, it's tough for me to take Syracuse as a favorite on the road.
Yeah.
But to think that this game finds its way over with a high tempo Syracuse shooting performance where you get Jesse Edwards and Joe Girard involved in the game could be an interesting spot, a slaughter, but a fucking over.
Okay. Excellent. Great job. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We got to get rolling. Let's go rapid fire in these last few, Max. Give your bets. I'll get mine. We'll get out of here, brother.
Yep, North Carolina, and definitely like their team total.
That was a pass for me. And we saw that line already come down.
That is definitely a Wisconsin revenge spot. Very hard not to like them in that spot.
Yeah, I lead with them too. 4.5, but it's not a play. It's not a game of playing.
Yeah, we talked about this spot. I like the first half over, and if you were to give me a free play on the side, I would take Texas A&M.
Yeah, I want to take Texas A&M. They just keep losing and losing and losing, so that's why I stayed off.
Yeah, I think that with Mike Miles out again, it's a very difficult freaking task to get involved with this TCU team, but I'm stuck. It's a show pick from earlier, and I'm going to ride it out for better or for worse.
I take TCU. It's a game I had to stop too. With him out, Max, it's too much of their offense. You saw on Saturday, K-State take advantage, so I had to stay off the game as well with him out.
Yeah, with Eastern Michigan and Buffalo, Eastern Michigan's defense is so porous, even Buffalo could have a high-scoring game. Hopefully, it's high-scoring from the get-go and not just high-scoring in the second half.
I agree. There should be a ton of points, but you've missed the value. This has already shot up 4 points from the opener.
Yeah, this is a spot where I'm going to plug my nose and take LaSalle. I love Jameer Brickus back in the lineup. I love Clifton Moore's ability to go up against the St. Louis physical front court. And if Francis Okoro gets saddled with a couple early fouls, I think it could be good times for LaSalle and the Explorers.
Yeah, just not enough points for LaSalle for me. I wanted double digits. I wanted 9.5, 10. I didn't get that, so I passed.
Yeah, I think that with Central Michigan and Ball State, it's under basketball, but Ball State has been mighty good at covering some spreads as favorites. I don't know if this number is a little too big, though. We'll see. Central Michigan could be coming apart if Cam Healy has another 3 for 15 shooting game.
I think it's too high. I like Ball State a lot. 10.5. If you gave me a free bet, I'd take Central Michigan plus 10.5.
I think that Bowling Green got some serious revenge on their mind, and the best way for Kent State to win this game is to beat Bowling Green at their own fucking style.
Yeah, I lean Bowling Green a tad bit at the plus 6.5.
It's vegan because it's strawberry milk and not like cow milk. You know what I mean?
Yep, strawberry milk and cow milk.
Wait, play that one. What was that?
I believe
Vegan because it's strawberry milk and not like cow milk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Enough
that is just incorrect in so many ways, and the milk producers of Canada are offended. They are coming for you and your vegan milk.
You want to say it like he said it? Anyways, shout out to the chat. We got 3 more likes. We need 100. We're at 97. Everyone's sleeping at the wheel here. Give us a like, especially before we bounce. Max wants a few other things. All I ask is give us a like, if you haven't subscribed. And shout out to the chat. You guys are the best. Banana Grapes, great to see you. My guy, K. Reed in here. Tiz Reed. Unbelievable guy.
Great
man.
guy.
Miss you, guy. Shout out to K. Reed. Jake Burns, Lance LaRose, Nuke Worker with the dono from earlier. Everyone with the dono. Kyle.
Congratulations to Nuke Worker, 35 years. And,
Hell yeah.
Friday will be his final one, so he can spend more time with us gambling and having a good time talking about hookers, cupcakes, and college basketball.
Hell yeah. Roland G, good to see you. I think Alexander Sosa, Mills, Nasty, James Little. What's up, Mills? In here, I said that. Boston Nick, Bay Area. Shout out to everyone. Cash Action Bets. Man, shout out to everybody in here. Nathan Cerner, we appreciate you guys. Alrighty, Max. Give your bets, whatever you're going to roll tonight. Last word to the chat. I'll give mine and we'll dip.
We still got like 10 games, bro.
Oh, I thought when you stopped, we were done.
I was just trying to get an instant reaction. My bad.
Oh, okay. Let's roll it. Let's rip it. Go ahead. We just hit that one. Bowling Green if I had to play.
Yeah, I like the under in that game.
I didn't trust Manhattan on the road, so if I had to play, it'd be Ryder. That's scary.
Western Michigan all day.
Yeah, I lean Western Michigan.
Indiana State, and that's my best bet. -9. Thank you very much. And please fucking cash for me.
They should at home take care of business. Evansville's just been dog shit on the road. Every once in a while they play decent at home and cover, but yeah, Max, I'd lay it here if I had to.
I am very scared of what ECU is going to put out if Tristan Newton isn't scoring.
Yeah, garbage game. I lean Tulsa, too many points, so let it.
I got to find out what Gillespie and Justin Moore's status is before I tell you to do anything with this game.
Yep. I mean, that's their team. Gillespie and Moore is like 1A, he's B, and so just got to wait. St. John's with the points is interesting, though.
I think that Missouri with the points is interesting because I'm not expecting Rodney Chapman to put up 2 games in a row where he puts up 24 and leads the team in scoring. If Scottie Pippen wants to have another bad game, I won't send him shit in a box.
Yeah, he's kind of hit me. He had 33, just a few games ago, and I forget who they played and covered. Missouri, though, keep taking him. Give me the 8 with him.
Yeah, this game is pretty weird. I don't know why it's scheduled, but if I'm gonna be betting it, probably will because I'm a degenerate. I will be betting the under because I don't bet Pacific on the spread on the road. I know how to read above a grade 6 level.
Under. Max is right. I'm not gonna lay it though with USC. No way. Not with the way they shoot.
We got 2 left. Both your guys' faves.
Oh, look at that sexy Air Force. Problem with Air Force tonight is they're playing a team that loves to go over in the point range that they stay under. it is really you pick your allegiance and you ride the total respectively.
UNLV gets their revenge and wins tonight, but is it by double digits? Because they got their ass kicked in Air Force, and Air Force just is not the same basketball team on the road. They're horrible.
And potentially no Ethan Taylor.
Yes, so lean UNLV. You gotta lay 11 with UNLV, 10.5.
That's just not sexy. It's just not
Yeah,
sexy.
not sexy. This one, here we go, Max. Hit.
This fucking one. God damn it. I'm gonna put my money on the Bonnies full game, but I have to take Fordham first half just so I can prove myself wrong. I don't care if I give the $120 away. I literally probably should just do that instead. However, I'm taking Fordham first half. I'm gonna bet the Bonnies at halftime if they're down, if they're up, because like Navy, they still cash a lot of second half spreads and unders. So this game makes me very angry. I could literally just start smashing this mic on the table, but then I have to buy a new one. So I'm not going to do that.
You're right, Max. If they're down, if you take them first half, because Bonaventure probably wins the game, but I can't lay 12.5 with the Bonnies here. Just not right now. I know Fordham's not as good. They're usually better at home, but they played better as of late on the road. Say Bonner wins by 20, or this game's in, they win by 7 and they cover. So, and I lean under. All right. Is that it?
Sure.
That is it.
We are out. Okay, Max, give one last shout out to this great chat that's here, that supports us every day. Hit the thumbs up. Give them your best bet. I'll get mine. We'll get out of here.
Yeah, listen, guys, you guys are very special. You guys don't have your own name, but I've been brainstorming. I put on a little freaking R&B, took out a picture of Dr. Mandy without her shirt on, and I was like, what can we nickname the dudes that come to the chat every day for the show? I will figure it out. I will have a great nickname for you guys. You will love it. And hopefully Indiana State loves us. We're laying 9 points with them. God save me if they don't cash this. I may put my head through a concrete wall. I want this winner. I want it bad. Let's get this shit. Fuck Evansville.
I love it. Lay the 9.5 with Indiana State. Garbage Evansville team.
Connor, you can get a 9, bud. No 9.5. 9s.
There you go. You can get a 9. Look at him. He's on the ball. Auburn loses tonight at Arkansas. We'll see. Hey, if they go 20 and win on the road, I'll be hats off to them. But number 1 team in the country. Big mark on them. Arkansas wins there. I just had to do it, Max, even though because there's still threes available. I'm going to give it out. Ohio. I just think this is just a revenge spot. This game's close, and they might even win it, but I'll take the 3 as extra. And the dirty dog, Portland, plus 18.5 for San Francisco. San Francisco wins. Portland, hang in there. Make your free throws like they do. Hit some key shots. They'll cover that number. All righty, that is it for us. He's the great Maxwell Smart. We're out of here, baby. I'm Conor Mack, and we be pumping! Peace.